And we are live. What's good, y'all? It's your man, DL Saint. How y'all doing? Welcome. Hey, hope y'all having a good Thursday. Like I said, the new year always kicks me in the teeth, and I'm sick, y'all. I am sick, but I don't care. I'm gonna push through because, you know what I mean? I'm a warrior like that. Hey, people, if you're sick, stay home. Don't go outside. And if you got to go outside to get stuff and you're sick, put a mask on. Right? Put a mask on. Keep your germs to yourself, you nasty bastard. I was at a restaurant here in last week with my daughter. We were sitting down eating. The restaurant was kind of full. It is what it is. Whatever. It was over the Hollywood. It was over the a holiday break. Whatever. We're still in the Hollywood holiday break. Sorry, can't focus. And there's some guys that a family is just sitting right behind us. We were about finished with what we were doing, about ready to leave, and his family came in and this guy started coughing all over the place, wasn't covering his mouth, didn't have a mask on, wasn't even trying. I'm going to say it again. He wasn't even trying, just coughing. You know what I mean? His nasty germs all over the place, man. I think that's what got me. I could be wrong. It's just that stuck in my mind because so many people in there coughing. So here we are, man. Welcome to Man I Don't Know. It's me and my dude Ty Barnett, and here he is. Ty, what's good, fam?
Yo, what up, man? How you doing? I'm sorry you're not feeling well, bro.
I get over it. I will get over it. So y'all know what it is over here, man. We trying to do all kind of content, man. Like we have Downrange Podcast where we talk about politics. We got I Really Want to Know podcast where we talk about everything under the sun. And now we're gonna bring to you Man I Don't Know. This right here, man, is going to be about Hollywood, bro. Everybody wants to know about Hollywood. Everybody thinks it's all candy canes and lollipops out there, Ty. And I think that me and you both know that it ain't quite like that.
Nah, it's not. It's when they say it's the land of smoke and mirrors, they mean that.
Yeah, cool. It is tinsel time. So Ty, for those who don't know you, it might be one or two folks out there who don't know you. Them the same two people who don't know how to use a seatbelt on the airplane, and that's why you gotta have that video. So Ty, why don't you tell everybody who you are, bro, so they know what it is.
How you guys doing? Besides being friends with my man Don there, I'm a comedian, actor, writer. I can add producer now because we have a film out there that we're trying to get submitted to the film festivals. But I started as a stand-up in Washington State. That's where I started my career, moved to Los Angeles. And I didn't initially think I was going to be an actor, to be honest with you. Like I thought it was just going to be stand-up. And then I kind of fell into it. And I've been acting now for quite some time. Done a few projects here and there. Got a couple things coming out this year, which is great. So I still love stand-up, but I also have more of an appreciation for being in front of the camera than I did when I first started. I was like a deer in headlights when I would do auditions, bro. I was like, huh? But now it's like, I love it, man. It's just, it's a business. And it's something that, I always tell people, it's not the easiest business, but if you love it, I think it's easier to navigate through it.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, I am honored, and I ain't gonna lie, I feel some Hollywood privilege because I got my man right here. You know what I mean? Like he out there doing it. And between us, we'll probably be bringing on some people in the future. We're gonna, talk about this Hollywood stuff, man. It's crazy. Ty got me watching movies I probably wouldn't watch, and I'm probably going to have him watching movies he probably wouldn't normally watch. And we're going to talk about that stuff and how things work and all that good stuff. And it will even entertain y'all questions as well, man. I won't be dropping links. I won't be doing that as much on this particular platform because it's so subject matter intensive. You know what I mean? But who knows? Maybe one day down the road, we might drop a link depending on what we're talking about. It might be something going on that we want everybody's opinion on. It's not just a Hollywood thing, and we'll probably do it then. But today, just sit back and enjoy. Of course, we're going to be looking at everybody's chat. Speaking of the chat, y'all rock with me already. Brother Hayoka's in the house. What's good, fam? And real Ty, could you hear that horn blast when I hit the button? Could you hear that sound effect?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay, cool. That's my sound check. Whenever I got somebody on here, they can hear it. You're perfect. I don't hear the fan. Like before, it was like boop, 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 boop. Like it sounded like something was ruffling. Like, man, is he getting scuffed up? I should have said something. Brother Hayoka's in the house, man. We got brother Michael Miss AKA Lady, Brother Smeebles, all in the house. What's good, y'all? Brother Smeebles coming all the way over from down under from Australia. Good day, good day, good day. Hey, man, you ever do any work in Australia?
Nah, man, I'm worried about the plane ride. I don't want to be on a plane that long.
Yeah, boy, it's a long one.
The reason. My dad actually lives there though. My dad lives in Melbourne.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either for a
while. Hey, I did not know that. So, all right, cool. Maybe we can start some shit, man. You know, Miss AK, I see everybody showing everybody else love. Miss AK, hey lady, it's the DL universe. Hey, that's what we trying to do, man. We trying to do big things, man. From politics to dating and AI and Hollywood and everything in between, man. We trying to make it happen over here. Hey, I'm gonna get Brother Hayoko on here one of these days, y'all. We gonna go into a deep dive on that's probably going to be on I Really Want to Know. We're going to go into a deep dive into deep fakes, bro. Like, Ty, I know you know a little bit about something like that, like the deep fakes AI that's out there.
Part of the reason why I don't do those things. You know, you ever see those challenges on like Instagram or Facebook when they say, turn your face into a cartoon?
Right.
I'm good, man.
So you good on that. So
I just built my credit back up. I ain't trying to fuck it up, man. I ain't trying to do that, man. I worked too hard for this. Damn hard for this.
Too hard to have somebody just snatch it when I get it ripped big bud up again.
Yeah, exactly, bro. I don't do that, man. Like at first I thought about it, I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool, you know, put your face on the thing. Nah, man.
I'm not doing it either. So y'all be looking out for that. You know, me and Brother Hulk and I we're definitely gonna do it. He's sending me some great content, and we just got to pick a day and make it happen, y'all. It is, this deep fake stuff ain't no joke, y'all. Ain't no joke. And Brother Smeebles, I'm a mod now. Yes, you are, son. Yes, you are. Of course you a mod, bro. That was an oversight on my part, man. You should have been one of the first mods, bro. So, you know, and thank you so much, man. If I send you a wrench and you don't like it, you can always give it back. But I'm glad that y'all are there, bro. So, man, let's get into the show, bro. Like, so Hollywood, man, how should we start this, man? Because we got 3 parts we definitely want to get into, right? I want to talk about nepotism babies in Hollywood, right? I want to talk about that. I want to talk about 2 movies. I want to talk about Glass Onion, which you told me to watch, and I ain't gonna lie, man, I'm glad you told me to watch that movie. And we're gonna talk about The Woman King. So those are the 3 things I definitely want to get on. That's on the agenda. But man, where should we start? Should we talk about more? Let's talk a little bit more about the actual business before we get into this nepotism thing and why this nepotism thing is such a big issue.
Right.
How tough is it, bro, to actually get into the business of acting, writing, producing, directing, the Hollywood game? How difficult is it really to get to the point where you can support yourself on that? Because there's a lot of people out there, y'all, that say that they're an actor, a director, a writer, but they're really a waiter or a guy who washed at the car wash or the assistant manager over at Trader Joe's. You know what I mean? Can we talk about that for a minute?
It is, I would say like the key, there's a few different keys to this business. The number one thing is resilience. It's the number one thing. Like you're going to need that above a lot of other shit, unless you are already kind of grandfathered in, or, you know, someone in the business like that. Cause most people don't know somebody in the business like that. So I would say resilience is 1. 2, a love. And I know it sounds really simple when I say that, like you got to love it. No, because you can like something and you'll do it for a certain amount of time until you get tired of it. This is not that thing. Because if you don't love this and you're not determined to make it work, you're going to have way more downs than ups. You're going to have more moments where you question your desire to do it, or whether it's even possible. So I would say 3rd, a core group of friends, like real friends. I'm not talking about people who say they're your friend because they want something from you. I'm talking about people who will hold you down when you need them to hold you down, when they will lift you up when you need them to lift you up, and they will care about you as a person. My management team, like I told you this before, like I had big name management, I had big name agents at one point. And when the chips were not where they were supposed to be for them, I didn't hear from them. So for a while there, I didn't fuck with anybody. I didn't have a manager. I had one agent, and that was my commercial agent. And my commercial agent is what helped me sustain a lot of stuff. But then when I decided to get back into trying to find a manager, I was very clear about what I wanted. I wanted someone that gives a fuck about me. I can't stress this enough to people. I had to find somebody that gave a fuck about me, not Ty Barnett, the brand, but me as a person. And the reason why that's important is because you want somebody that is going to be there for you when the phone calls are not coming in. You want somebody that's going to be there for you when you're stressing over an audition, over a part, over your self-confidence or whatever, and to make sure they keep you there in a good place. And once I found that, it helped me navigate through a lot of stuff in this business. So I would say the key is, one, like I said, being resilient. Two, a core group of friends. And three, you have to love this, bro. You have to love this. This business ain't for the faint of heart, man. It sounds cliche, but dude, I've been in this business about 25 years now. And you ever heard them say you're gonna have a bunch of the highs are gonna be really high and the lows are gonna be lows. Just to put it in perspective for you guys, you want real conversation. I'm gonna give you a real conversation
before you get there, because I would like to throw this out there, because Miss AKA Lady recognized you right away from Last Comic Standing, as will most people would probably recognize you from, right? And great job, bro. Like, great job. We know why you didn't win that year, but we just go leave that alone. Because I ain't trying to throw no shade at nobody, you know what I mean? The person who did one, shout out to Josh Blue, man. That's solid comedian, still out there doing it. You know what I mean? But I remember, because I was there. Like, we went from we always do what we do. So, but all of a sudden, the events got bigger and bigger and bigger as you progressed on this show. And I saw it in real time. We went from being, you've always been happy to do a room anywhere. Like, you'll do an open mic from a 2,500 seater. You don't care. But I watched the way people treated you, bro, during that time frame. And here's the thing. People treated me better because he got me with him. And then all of a sudden, at some point, all that went away. So I think you're touching on that.
It's, you know what? There's a line that De La Soul has a song, and I can't think of the name of the song, but and there's a line in the song, and it says, everyone cools off from being hot. It's about if you can handle being cold or not.
Yes.
And dude, every time I hear the line now, it hits different, because you realize everyone has those moments. Everyone in this business. There is not a single person in this business, with the exception of maybe Denzel and Tom Hanks, that have had moments where you're not the hottest thing going. It's about being consistent, though. So like, even if I didn't have that same thing, I remember, and I'm gonna tell you this, I remember being in the lobby when we were doing Last Comic after we finished the taping. We come off stage, and there's this sea of people. I'm talking about like people this fucking close to your face. This is pre-COVID, so it didn't bother me. There's people this close to your face. So, and they're all trying to get autographs. They're all like, and bro, I'm telling you, I never experienced that before in my entire life. And I'm like, yo, this shit's bananas, man. And the first two thoughts that went through my head: one, this is amazing. Wow. The second thought is, where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? Now, not necessarily down, but that moment is, you have to understand, it's that moment. That's the key, is knowing that moment was that moment. Because I've had bigger highs since then. See what I'm saying? I've been I've seen myself on the big screen in a movie theater, bro, which brought a fucking tear to. I cried seeing myself on screen. I was like, "Fuck, man, that's me on the thing. I'm on the
Did you
thing.
turn around? Hey, y'all, that's me.
That's
That's
me on
me,
the
y'all.
thing." To see yourself on TV, bro, it's you. To see yourself on TV, to see someone in another country seeing that. So I've had these other moments, but again, the key is realizing that there are moments, and you can't let the moment define who you are and what your goal is and what you're striving towards. Like I enjoy acting. I enjoy it because it's what I do. I enjoy the process of acting and being in front of a camera. I enjoy the process of making stuff now, as you can tell. Like I enjoy. I look at everything now. I look at lighting. I listen to all of this shit. But again, like I said, for me, it was a transition because I went through those moments. I remember one time I was on set for I had a reoccurring role on the show, and bro, this is what I mean by when you don't look at it the way you're supposed to look at it. I'm on set. I'm reading my lines written for me. I have a trailer and everything. And the only thought in my head was, man, is this going to be enough? Is this going to be the thing? Is this going to get me to where I need to be? You know what I'm saying? And I had to stop myself and said, Todd, you do realize you're on a TV show right now. Yet why are you not enjoying this right now? And this is why I have to say to actors and performers, enjoy the moment. Because you don't know when it's going to happen again. But
that might be the only one. That might be the only time you get it. Is that a thing? Wow.
Oh, bro, listen. Let me put this in perspective for you of how crazy this shit is. Last year, I didn't book anything new. Now, mind you, I had things that you know that were still on from before. I didn't book anything new for months.
So what does that mean? Like when you say that, I know what it means, but what does that mean?
Meaning like you know, going out on auditions. Like I had auditions. I went out on auditions. I had callbacks. You know what I'm saying? You get put on avails. By the way, avails is when they say, okay, now we've narrowed it down to even less people than who went in. So you're closer to booking it. You just haven't booked it yet. So, but everyone, I always feel like avails to me is it's a double-edged sword. Like there's the good part of feeling like, man, I'm this close. I'm about to call a realtor to buy the house. I'm this close, this close. But then if you don't get it, you realize how close you were to getting it. So it's a double-edged sword when it comes to avails. So anyway, that happened throughout the year, right? So for months.
And what I wanted to jump in there if I could. This is important to the bottom line. Like, because people want to try to understand is, to even get to the point where Ty's talking about, Ty, how much work does it take just to get to where you get or hold like an avail? How much work went into that?
I mean, you know what I mean? People audition for the same thing. We're talking about this hundreds of people audition for the same thing. And it's so many factors that go into it. There's so many factors that go to it commercially versus theatrically. It's too, you know, because again, theatrically, if you get an avail theatrically, I always feel like, you know, it's a bigger things at stake versus commercially, because commercially it's a bigger accomplishment because you beat out way more people that went in for the same commercial. But theatrically, that could be the difference between you getting sitcom money, movie money, shit like that.
So like the big commercial is like you beat out a bunch of pawns, but if you get like to a TV show or a big role in a feature, that's like now you dealing with the bishops and the rooks.
Yeah, bro. Let me tell you, I remember, and this is what I hated about my early representation, is they would send me out for stuff. By the way, this is back in the day when I was in better shape, when I had the 6-pack. And I was
the real 6-pack. This is when you were doing the Tupac jokes.
This is like when I had the real, like, I didn't mind taking my shirt off in public. But they would send in for stuff, but like these leading roles, these leading man roles. And no bullshit, man. I remember going in one time for something, and I forgot how I found out, but like Denzel was up for it. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I said, do you think it's going to be between me and Denzel? Stop. Please don't put me in that position, please. So
I mean, you were up for Tropic Thunder, right? You almost got that shit.
Almost got Tropic Thunder. Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean by like you're put in these positions where, as a performer, you don't want to turn them down because you're like, man, thank you for considering me for this. But also, you feel like, man, realistically, what are my chances of getting this? That doesn't mean it won't happen. It just means that you have to look at it in the full situation of it. But I will tell you, so just to give people an example of this, so this past year, the last year, nothing happened from a big part of the year. There was depression. My wife had to talk me down a couple times. My manager had to talk me down, where I was just like, what the fuck, man? What am I doing? I'm going in. I'm getting good feedback on these auditions. What the fuck, man? You know, blah, blah, blah. And so one thing came in. I go in for it. I do the reading. I don't even think about it anymore because I think I had to go do a gig or something. So I was on the road or whatever. I found out that I found out I got the veil for it. So again, I still didn't want to get too high on it because it had been such a shitty year. So I didn't want to think anything about it. Then I get the call telling me that I booked it. And man, I yelled so loud. I'm sure I scared the shit out of our dog that we had. And so here's what I mean by like everything that I didn't get didn't matter because I just booked something. And then after that, I went in for something else, booked another TV show within the same month. So it went from nothing to booking 2 major TV shows within a month. And this is what I try to get people to understand, that there was no formula for that. There was no rhyme or reason for it. That's just how the business is. This is what I mean by being resilient, having a love for it, and understanding that you got to have a core group of people around you, because my wife helped me through a lot of this time. My manager helped me through a lot of that downtime where I was just feeling like fucking shitty. But all those 3 things together helped me get to those moments. This is why I want performers to understand that, man, it's never gonna be, even if you're at the top of the line, you're still gonna feel like somebody's coming for you. So I feel like those things are very important for people to understand.
See, that's crazy as hell, because I say this all the time. Hollywood's a place where you can go to bed on Monday and your bank account could say like minus $200. And you could wake up on Thursday and your bank account could say $800,000.
Yeah.
That's a thing in Hollywood, isn't it?
Yeah, bro, listen. And you don't even know what it's going to be for. And I won't give you exact figures, not in public, but you and I have talked numerous times. There have been projects that I went out on that I booked, especially commercially, that I was like, whoo, y'all motherfuckers, hey, man, I ain't going to tell y'all what these checks look like. I ain't going to tell you what these checks look like. But I would, you know what I'm saying? Because those moments, and you never know what it's going to be. But yeah, it can change overnight like that. But this is also where I think performers need to understand that you also can't gauge it by that. You can't gauge it by what you think the bottom line is going to be, because it's going to also be taxes.
Yeah. Not just taxes. You're going to have to pay that agent you was talking about. You're going to pay them managers you was talking about.
But that's the thing. I don't mind paying my representation when they're working for me, when they're doing stuff for me, when they're getting and then sometimes, man, it really comes down to sometimes it's the small stuff. Like my manager, dude, I love my manager, bro. Like she and her company, like they do the small things. Like when I would have to do self-tapes, she would say, okay, cool, come by, we'll set up the camera, we'll do the self-tape. Whereas when I was with the bigger management company, them motherfuckers barely wanted to fucking deal with me unless it was about a paycheck for them. And those aren't the people that, me personally, they're great when you're a Brad Pitt. They're great because you're making so much money. Even when they don't want to deal with you, they'll pretend that they do. When you don't have that type of situation, it is important for you to have somebody in your corner, have multiple people in your corner that's really going to help you navigate through this. It's a cold business, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this really quick, just because I always forget to tell this story, but it's one of the most important things people need to understand. John Cryer, from Two and a Half Men. You know, you've seen him on other stuff too, but you know, he's one of the few people that have been famous pretty much his entire life. He was a child star, famous then. He was one of the few people that transitioned to an adult, you know, successful. So anyway, he was getting his star on the Walk of Fame, and they asked him. They said, "Well, what advice would you give entertainers who have not made it in this business and who are still trying to make it, and you know they've been in that for so long?" And he says, "Well, if you could walk away from it, leave." He said it's the hardest thing. It's one of the hardest businesses. It's ruthless. It's horrible. It's hard. He said, but if there's even a small part of you that would feel some kind of regret for not sticking it out, he said, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going.
That's crazy. That's how I feel about stand-up, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love performing, but I don't need to be a star. I don't need to be a household name. I just love going in front of a crowd. I don't care if it's 3,000 people. I don't care if it's 3 people. If I can make one of those 3, hopefully all 3, but if I can at least make one of those 3 people laugh, that gets me going, and I want to do the next show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would imagine it's that on steroids when it comes to, you know, acting and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm with you, like, there's projects I'm trying to do. I would love to get involved in some more projects and stuff like that. You know, me and you are always talking. So I just want you guys to hear this, because Hollywood ain't, I mean, you know, we call it the Hollywood game, but it ain't no game, and these people playing for real. These people playing for keeps, you know what I mean? And they headhunters. Like I said, I said this before, and I'll say it again. It's more honor in the drug game on the streets than it is in Hollywood, bro. They don't care.
Yep. It's hard. It is something that, like I said, man, it's easier to navigate through it when you have connects, of course. But most of us don't have connects like that. You know, I don't have a famous relative in this. It's only 2 in our family. Even our extended family, you know, is, you know, our core is me, my mom, and my brother. But we have extended family on, you know, both sides, father and mom's side. I'm the only person that's that is into an actor, comedian. My brother does music, so my brother does hip hop. So my brother, you know, he has his vein. My dad is an entertainer, but you know, not on a massive scale like that. Everybody else, there's nobody else in the business like that, like we are. So we don't have anybody famous in Hollywood like that that we can kind of call on and say, hey, can I get that part in the movie? You know.
That's gonna bring us to our next topic. I see that we got Brother Cody is king in the house, brother, and Brother Mandrell's in the house. 2 real men up in this piece, man. I appreciate that, man. You know what I mean? Brother Mandrell being a Green Beret, as a matter of fact. And I don't think you guys know this, but the man standing next to me, Ty Barnett, is also a veteran of the United States Army. You know what I mean? He's a leg, though.
It's like I gotta get
yeah, you gotta get right. Yeah, you ain't.
Can't. You ever watch the movies and you see people saluting the wrong way, and you be like, man, you gotta give them demerits.
Boy, that make me so mad. They doing all this, boy. I get mad, man. Look, I don't even want to talk about it. Like, how come they didn't hire me to be the technical advisor on that show? I'd be like, cut. I'd have called cut. Cut. Fuck that. That's wrong salute.
Exactly.
They probably carried me off the set, but there was a couple chats out here that I did highlight that I wanted to talk about real quick, and there's a few of them right here before we move on. Brother Hayoka, AI is removing aspects of acting. Yeah. Not necessarily, though. I mean, not really. It's there, but it's not really, because the actor still gets paid because you're using their likeness.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I can't just come up with an AI of Ty and be like, oh, I just cut him out of we don't need Ty Barnett anymore. We still need him. We still need his voice, and he has to put on the suit and do all that kind of the CGI stuff. But you were going to say that it is changing aspects of acting.
It's changing it. A guy that I used to work with when I was doing self-tape, when I do self-tapes, he has a studio. He was talking about that because, you know, they are trying to, I don't think they're purposely trying to phase out the human actor. I just think that technology is advancing to where they're trying to figure out what else we can do with acting. So you go look at Avatar. You know, so he's an Avatar. Like, I mean, we watched the movie and there were some parts of the movie where you're like, oh shit, that it looks pretty real. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you look at, I play video games. I play NBA 2K, and with motion capture, you see all of these different things. So they're trying to do that, but like you just said, you can't you can't AI a Denzel, you can't AI a Morgan Freeman. You know what I'm saying? You can't AI
A
a
Don
Meryl
Cheadle,
Streep.
a
You know what I'm
Meryl
saying?
Streep. Yeah.
You can't do that. Like that's a talent that you can't manufacture that. That's a natural ability. Now there are times where if you look at the new Indiana Jones is coming out. Uh, there are times where they talked about de-aging Harrison Ford. So in those senses, yes,
That's a lot
AI.
of de-aging they need to do there, bro.
Yeah,
Cause
but
that man look
you
old.
better believe if I'm still on this earth when that movie come out, I will be in the theaters, bro.
Yeah, that
I will.
Crystal Skull, when the last one they did, I was real upset, bro. Like they
Yeah,
messed
I
that up,
know, man.
man.
I
They
know,
messed.
but it's Indiana Jones, man. Yeah,
I
it's all
did
right.
see it. I did see it. And they make another one, I'm gonna go see it. I mean, it's like when they
Yeah,
keep making these Star Wars movies, I'm gonna go see them, even though
you
it's
know,
most of them trash. But yeah, you're right. So
I told
and
you,
then
still messing about the Han Solo thing, but we won't get into that.
man, that's we gonna get into in one of these episodes, just not this episode. We gonna get into some Star Wars. We gonna get some Star Wars nerds in here, man. Cause you're right. Is it even man? Yeah, let's not even talk about it. But I've been done through a gasket, Miss
How you feel
AKA
about
lady.
Han Solo? Go ahead.
Right,
All right.
exactly, exactly. Princess Leia float around in space. Can't no Jedi do that. Yoda can't even do that. Anyway, we'll get to that later in a later episode. Miss AKA lady, actors have a different level of passion, drive, and ability to move past rejection. It's impressive to swim in that environment. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let Ty finish. Say what he has to say. This part here about the ability to move past rejection in Hollywood is not as prevalent as you may think.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because there's a certain part of you. There's a certain part of you that feels like, especially if you put the work in, you put the effort in. Like there are some auditions that I've gone on where I did walk out of the room like, okay, I don't really expect to hear anything back from that. I did not feel like I did great in that audition. But there are also some auditions where, and some of them I booked. I remember one time leaving an audition cursing. And I was like, God damn it, fuck! I should have done it this way, fuck. And I get in the car, and my wife was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Fuck that audition. This is the fuck. It was a callback. I fucked it up. I can't believe it." I ended up booking it, and but then I've done auditions where I was like, I'm not gonna lie, not saying I was feeling myself, but I walked out of the audition like, come on, man. That one, I killed that. And some you book, and depending on what it is. So the idea of rejection, you got to have a thick skin. But the good thing about me coming into this business as a stand-up, and you know this as well, bro, is that you build up that thick skin over years of whether your joke work and the rooms, you do this room and you see how it works. So I think the harder part is when you watch what you audition for and you see somebody else doing it. And if they don't do what you did and they don't bring something to the role that you would have brought to it, I think that part is hard sometimes because you're like, oh man, come on, bro.
The fix was in.
Yeah,
How do you get that motherfucker? Yeah.
So it could be a few things like that. And I just think that, again, but to go back to, Miss AK, that's why I said the love and the resilience have to be very, very much so a part of your life, because those moments will happen. I mean, I told you, I can't tell you how many things I went out for last year that I didn't get. And to also to give you some perspective, the first thing I booked of the last year, we were replacing actors that they needed to recast. So they had already cast some people, didn't like what they were seeing, and they cast us to reshoot what they had already shot.
That's crazy. We firing these people and bringing y'all in here. Yeah, it's gonna cost us money, but we don't care, man. That's the business. That's the business.
And you talking about pressure? Once we found that out, me and my co-star was like, we can't fuck this up. We don't want them to recast us.
Right. They're going to fire us too. We better get it right. Come on over here and run these lines. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Exactly, bro. So, But man, hey man, I have to say this before we continue. There is something about being on set. Once you book and you're on set and you're the cameras are there, man, and you see yourself and you see the whole process, everything that goes into doing this, man. It is magical, bro. Some of it is tedious, mind you. There's times where you're sitting on set just on your phone, like, when you gonna need me when? Okay, cool. I'll be right here playing Words with Friends. But the process, everything that goes into it, man, it's dope. It is dope. I'm not gonna lie.
You gotta love it. We got brother Dino Dinosaurs in the house. What's good, fam? Good to see you. Happy New Year to you, man. Brother DL, I hope you and the fam are well. I hope you watch it. I hope you watched Knives Out before watching Glass Onion. I did. I'm a huge Daniel Craig fan, bro. I was team Daniel Craig before he did The Bonds. When he did a movie called The Layer Cake. A lot of people haven't seen this movie. It's a really obscure British movie. And I forget what year it came out, man. I want to say the early 2000s or something like that. The Layer Cake. And in that movie, there was a scene where he was dressed up in all black and he had this little handgun with a silencer on it. And I was like, yo, that's James Bond. That dude should be James Bond. And then I didn't watch the movie when it first came out. It was a Blockbuster thing. I saw it on Blockbuster. I watched it. Just got a random movie. It was 6 months later, they announced that he was, in fact, the next James Bond. And I was like, see, Hollywood should listen to me. They should listen to me, which they do not. And brother Hayoka, seeing the wedding ring, you also have to have a wife that's on your team. And he also continues, how do you keep emotionally stable self-maintenance? That's a really good question there. And then we'll move on to the next segment. How do you stay balanced, bro?
I have a regular life that helps. I don't my life is not defined by this career. And that's important to say because, like I said, if you don't have anything outside of this, then all the highs will be extra high and the lows will be extra low. And I never wanted that. I never wanted that type. I didn't want my life to be that. I'm a regular person that just happens to be an entertainer. So I wanted to make sure that I've always kept that like that. So when I'm not performing, I just do regular shit. I watch TV. You and I hang out. We go listen to music. You know what I'm saying? We just chill.
We go to New York. We do stand up.
Exactly. So I incorporate as much of a regular life into and make it as important as what I do when I get in front of the camera or on stage. My wife has definitely helped. I mean, she understands it a lot more. There will be times when we first start seeing each other that she didn't get it. And it was just like, yo, what the fuck? She would just see me in these moments. But she understands it now because she sees the work and she sees that when the finished product happens, then she's like, oh, wow. Plus, thank goodness bills get paid. So it helps. So
boy, and how, like you said, when those big checks come in, yeah. And how, we got Sister Candace in the house. We got Miss Globe Girl in the house. What's good? What's good? Sister Candace, the monster mod out there, Miss Globe Girl, my favorite sailor. Welcome. We're here with Ty Barnett, man. We're trying something new, man. This is the Man I Don't Know show. I don't know, we call it podcast. It's all under I Really Want to Know, but I don't know. It's where we talk about Hollywood. We're going to be talking about movies. We're going to be talking about some articles. Right now, we're about to start talking about nepotism in Hollywood in 1 second. But I wanted to take a good chunk of time so people could get to know Ty. Ty's run down his background, and he's telling us why he loves his business and how tough this business is. And listen, y'all. Imagine having to go to work and bust your ass in the not the audition, but the interview phase, actually having to flip burgers or drop fries or whatever. And okay, cool, we'll call you back. You will call back, you do more. You sure you do more. You still do all that work. And they're like, yeah, we went a different direction. Damn, I was in here working. So when they get these big payouts, you have to take into consideration how much work it took just to get there.
To get that.
You know what I mean? So is it, because a lot of people be like, oh man, these A-list celebrities, man, they making all this money. They didn't really earn it. What would you say to those people who say that the actors didn't earn that money, the A-list?
No, because again, it comes down to the money that, and we talked about this on your other show when we were talking about Skip Bayless. At the end of the day, studios look at how much money can they make. That's what they look at. So they pay Denzel Washington what they pay Denzel Washington because Denzel Washington is Denzel Washington. That's why they pay him that. They pay, they pay Jennifer Aniston what they pay her because she's Jennifer Aniston, and they know enough people are going to watch it just off of that name. So they earn it because they know that money is going to be made based off of that name. And again, the process that goes into this is so, it just I think people don't understand the process when studios, like you look at a Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man and Marvel. Quick side note: the first Marvel movie was Blade. Wesley Snipes don't get enough credit for that. He should.
It should be, yeah. That's it. Him and Frost. And that was the first slow-mo when he got out the way of the bullet, when Frost got out the way of the bullet.
Exactly. It kicked off a lot of shit, so shout out to Wesley Snipes. But with Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man doing as well as it did, right, kicked off what we know as the Marvel Universe now. It kicked off what we know now. The Avengers, the Infinity Wars, everything, all the shit. Because Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man did so well. And so when you heard what he was making, yeah, of course, you're like, what? Just to stand in front of a camera and do this? Do you know how much money fucking Marvel made from Robert Downey Jr.?
On the one movie, not counting the rest, how many billions?
Exactly. We didn't even get into foreign numbers. We're just talking domestic numbers. So I believe that, yeah, they believe me, they don't write them checks unless they're getting bigger checks.
Way bigger checks. So at the end of the day, you're still getting pimped, even though you're getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. They getting billions and billions of dollars.
Exactly.
So that's crazy. Hey, here's one I didn't even want to archive. I want you to look at it right now. This is Cody's King. This is my dog, right? Ty, on average, how many babies must be sacrificed to get a big role?
Hilarious. I cannot answer that.
Hey, I gotta get that.
I cannot answer that question. I live in Los Angeles, California, sir. I cannot answer that question. I do not want to implicate anything or anyone or anything.
Hey, so. Ty's a smart man. He ain't gonna have the Illuminati coming to his house. They know where he at. I don't know.
Can't do
it. I'll answer that. I'm out here in Tampa, bro. This America land out here, about 3.5. You need 3.5 to get to the A list. 3.5.
Oh my God.
Yo, man, but let's get damn, that shit was funny. Let's get into it, man. I pulled up an article here, bro. And this is BuzzFeed, right? And this was August of last year, and it says 12 nepotism babies who claim it's harder for them to make it in Hollywood, and 7 who've actually acknowledged their privilege. And they're talking about these are children of stars, mostly A-listers in Hollywood, bro. So I don't know if you've seen this article, but like the first one, they got a list of them, right? Lily Rose Depp. This is Johnny Depp's daughter. You know what I mean? I don't even know which one she is.
I know I was about to say.
You know what I mean? So right off rip, that kind of tells you. I don't even know which one it is. So she's done movies already, but it seems that every movie she's done, her dad's either been in a movie or produced a movie. And she's basically saying that I have to work twice as hard. Here she is right here. She's trying to say, and yeah, she looked like her daddy. She got her daddy, like is that her daddy eyes?
Yeah.
She got a little Captain Jack Sparrow right there. So she's saying that she has to work twice as hard. She's like, I've always been under the impression that I have to work twice as hard to prove to people that I'm not just here because it's easy for me. I feel like, Merch, you're not what your name is. If you're not right for something, they're not just going to hire you because your name looks good on a post. I would say that's bullshit.
I think it's some truth to what she said, but I also feel like it's mostly like stop. You know what it is. The you got in the door because your dad is who he is. Which, hey man,
Nothing wrong with that.
thank you. Let's be straight up about that. Everyone, anyone acting like they would not want a leg up on something. If they can get a leg up, you're lying. You're
I wish
lying.
my daddy was Barry Gordy or Master P. You know what I mean? Little Romeo, little punk for talking all that craziness about his dad. You know what I mean? I wish.
The reason why that dude was able to get all that, the longevity of that was because of his dad and his dad stepping in and doing stuff. So there's nothing wrong with having that leg up. Everyone would want it. But I do understand that there is a pressure for her to be good. At least you have to be good, because they do know who your dad is. But if she went in there and was just shitty, you know what I'm saying? That would be a cause for concern, because they're like, well, damn, do we cast her? Because she's a horrible actress. So she does have that pressure. It might be there. I mean, now, mind you, you're going to still get a little bit more leeway than somebody else would get. But I think you still have to show and prove that you're good enough for the role. Because like we said before, it still comes down to executives paying money and it being a product, because that's what it is. It's a product. So if you're not going to make the product money, they have to look at their bottom line.
Exactly. And brother Cody was like 3.5. He like 3.5, fair. To be an A-lister, 3.5 babies, fair. Y'all crazy. So I would say this, and I'll say this. I don't have a problem with nepotism and stuff like that. I do have a problem with people who don't realize it's a privilege. But having said that, privilege is blind to those who have it, right? So she probably, in her mind, she's working her ass off. But here's the thing, and I'll let you answer this. How important and how difficult is it to get the meeting, Ty? Just to get in the room?
It's hard. Man, listen, and we're talking, I don't have any connections like that. So everything that I've accomplished, I have to hope that my representation has enough connects to at least get me looked at. Now, what happens once I get in the door? Once I get in the door is different. But I want my team to have the connects to say, well, hey, look at our guy too. Look at this person here. You know, I want that. So, because it's not easy. Everybody's trying to be famous, man. Everybody is trying to be famous. Look at YouTube. Look at Instagram. Look at TikTok. Everybody is trying to. So imagine Hollywood already having its hemisphere of people trying to make it in the idea of just being on camera. Now you couple that with, now I got to go focus on this TikTok star. Now I got to go focus on this YouTube star. Now I got to go focus on this Instagram star. You got to compete with all of that. So the good part about that, now there's something good to that, is that if you have built that following up, you've been able to bypass a lot of shit that a lot of old school cats didn't have to do. You know what I'm saying?
A serious cheat code. Not even a cheat code. It's just another road that wasn't there before.
Exactly. Look at what's his face. DC Youngfly. DC Youngfly is about to be in House Party based off of his social media presence. You see what I'm saying? This is so getting. And meanwhile, somebody who tried to get cast in the movie who doesn't have the same following may not even get looked at because their name is not DC Youngfly. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's so many different things that have been added to the journey of making, quote unquote, making it in this business. So the meeting is important. It's just, so you got a famous dad, you got a famous, I just watched the Whitney Houston movie, and look at how many other people she knew. Her mom was already kind of connected. Her auntie is Dionne Warwick. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a few different things.
And it's because I'm trying to jump around a little bit because they got people who are for and against or whatever. So here's one right here. Zoe Kravitz, the daughter of actor Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz, right? So, and there's her mom and dad right there, and it is what it is. That is definitely a Hollywood family. You feel me? Like it is just the family business. So, she shares the publicist with her dad. She's done some movies. Like she's out there making a name for herself. And I guess in GQ they asked her, and she said, it's completely normal for people to be in the family business. It's literally where the names came from. You know what I mean? But we're in a black, if you're a blacksmith and your family was like the black family, what did she say? You were a blacksmith if your family was like the black family. Okay, that's just her being Hollywood. But I get what she's talking about. Like if your dad is Elon Musk, right? And then you get into the family business and you continue the family name and you continue the march to Mars or to, Pluto or wherever we're going to go next. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think people would be screaming nepotism. That's your dad. I mean, that's your lineage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, like I said, there's something to be said for having that leg up. But I also feel like I think the problem comes in when you can't back up the hookup. You know what I'm saying? When you can't back up the hookup. If you can back up the hookup, and man, yeah, you might hate on the person for, getting looked at more or first or whatever, but if they're talented, they're talented. Kate Hudson is talented. Kate Hudson is talented. Like she is a good actress. Like I've seen numerous projects with Kate Hudson in it. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yes, her dad is it's not Kurt Russell. It's
it is Kurt Russell. It's Kurt Russell
that's
and
her dad?
no Russell Crowe. No, not Kurt
No, that's
Russell.
not
It was
Goldie Hawn. I thought her dad was somebody else.
It's Goldie Hawn and someone else. It's Goldie Hawn.
Yeah.
She might be on this list.
Yeah, but it's not Kurt Russell, but Goldie Hawn is her mom. So
yeah,
of course everyone knows Goldie Hawn, but then you look at Kate Hudson and her body of work. It's good. She's a good actress. You can't say that she's not. Jennifer Aniston, her dad, who I didn't even know who her dad was until he passed, but like he was already in the business. But no one can say Jennifer Aniston is not a good actress. So if you can back up his dad. Exactly. His dad is a comedy legend. So if you can back up the hookup, I think it changes. Jerry Stiller, sweet man, that dude was super hilarious, man. God bless the dead, man. He was a funny dude, and his mom. So
Annie Maria, which I'm not as familiar with her, but he absolutely backed it up. I mean, you look at Ben Stiller and you look at his body of work, bro. You can't say that he didn't do the damn thing.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So I think it's the problem comes in when a person is not good at what they do. So let's I won't go into that. Let's just say you have to be good at what you do. And if you're good at what you do,
and that means putting in the work. Yeah, that means putting in the work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. And speaking of so here's one right here. And we'll just do a couple more, we move on. Kendall Jenner. Right? Her dad, mom is Kris Jenner.
Okay.
Olympic gold medal, and Caitlyn Jenner. But can we knock her for using her family name? Say again.
You about to make me. We talked about talented people.
I wanted to get into the part where it was like, okay, this is an example of someone who may not be out doing the work, but still getting it. And then it gets into this. Who are we to say she's not doing the work? I mean, she's making the money, right?
Drug dealers make money.
Yeah, they do.
Drug dealers make money. What they do is not great, but what they make a lot of money doing it.
So she would be an example of the people that's like, this is a negative thing.
Because you look at any of the Kardashians, any of them, they have no discernible talent. None. They can't sing. They can't act. They don't tell jokes. Nothing. They're not. The The person that put them on the map is Ray J and OJ.
Ray J smashing, blowing the back out. Shout
That's
out to Ray J.
that is it. And I gotta be clear when I say this. I'm not hating the hustle, but don't act like it was more than what it was. You know what I'm saying? Don't act like it was more than what it was. So we knew about Kim because of Ray J. We knew about the mom because of OJ. So and again, they have been able to parlay that into $1 billion industry. No, I can't hate on that because they did do that. But when you say, well, there's a talent, no. Kate Hudson can act. Ben Stiller can act. Ben Stiller is a good director. Ben Stiller, he's a writer as well. That's a talent. You just showing your ass, hey man, anybody can do that, bro. Anybody can do it. I can pull up a ton of Instagram videos right now of chicks showing their ass. Tons.
Wow, and that's keeping it 100 though. I mean, I don't think that Hollywood would even push back because it's like, I mean, her basically all of the Kardashians are famous because Kim got her back blown out on tape. She did that was porn.
And but that's the thing, man. Is like when you say that, people think that you're again the hustle is the hustle, but don't say it wasn't the hustle. That's what it was. You just were really good at the hustle. And I don't think they should be put in the same category as a Zoe Kravitz, as a Kate as a Kate Hudson or Ben Stiller, because those people use their connects and just it enhance the talent that they have. The Kardashians have been able, man, business-wise, they're good business people. There you go. They're good business people. They're great business people.
But they don't have a dedication to a craft, unless you want to say smashing. That could be a craft. That could be a discipline.
And that's the same. And it was all built off of drama, which again, that's really what it was. It's built off of drama, and again, you got to understand something. Like, there's a difference between like one fed off the other. And that's why you have a Kardashian, because there was a need for it. Let's be fair. Let's be fair, because it's not their fault that they fed into the need for something like that. There's a reason, bro. I did this. I remember doing this video a while back, and it was a parody of America. And I said, America, the only place where you have a right to know what the Kardashians have for breakfast more than the names of even 2 of the Supreme Court justices.
Or name 2 countries on planet Earth.
You see what I'm saying? More people could tell you, but they could tell you more about the Kardashians than they can tell you about how the government works. And you see what I'm saying? And it's not shitting on them as the Kardashians. It's just saying your lane is your lane. Don't make it to where you're in the same vein as a person who is extremely talented and their mom, dad, uncle, whatever, auntie hooked them up. Whitney Houston, insanely talented. Insanely talented. Did she have a hookup of people to come look at her? Yup. But she backed up the hookup.
She got the opportunity and she rocked it out. You know what I mean? Wonderful 34 is in the house, man. In the chat, what's good, fam? What's good? Welcome again. As always, man. I always thank you for your support, man, for being here, man, your time, and also for your donations. Thank you so much. And for everyone out there who has donated, thank y'all so much, man. It keeps it going. Uncle Saint would never be able to have these lap dances and smoke and you know, have all this cocaine if y'all didn't send that money in. I appreciate it. Trying to be Hollywood over here, Ty. Trying to be Hollywood, right? But no, every dime goes right back into the operation. Sister Candace has a good point. Selling their bodies and children's likenesses. Is that really good business? Ty said it was they're good business people. He didn't say it was good business. He just said they're good business people. Did you want to address that, bro?
Like I said, drug dealing's a business. It's just not a good business. It's not safe, but it's a good business. they were able to, again, they tapped into something that they saw people had a need for. They tapped into it. They looked at it and they said, okay, well, people want to see more of this, and they gave them that. It's partly society's fault. If society didn't have a need to watch them, hey man, I keep going back to this. Networks don't spend money on shit that don't make money.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
And they're
not in the business of wasting money. They're not.
Exactly.
They wouldn't be here if they wasted money. And this is what gets them in trouble with Holly woke shit. We'll get into that a little bit towards the end of the show.
You see what I'm saying? They don't spend money unless they know they're gonna make more money. So they saw what was going on with that family, and they said, well, you know, a lot of people seem to be watching this train wreck of a family, and that's how they monopolize it. They monopolize it into perfumes. They actually have a pretty decent tequila. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, now and keeping that in mind. So if one of the Kardashians, I guess Khloe, was that the one we showed on there? So if Khloe, is that the younger one or whoever that was? I forget which one. Caitlyn. It was Caitlyn.
Kylie, I think.
Whichever one has something to do with Meg Thee Stallion getting shot in the foot. Which one is that? Which one is that? They were over her house and then they left.
Oh,
Chat, help me out. Which Kardashian had the little rapper dude who just got convicted of shooting Meg Thee Stallion in the foot? Y'all know I don't know about this stuff, man. It's y'all generation, because I think all that music is trash, but it is what it is. That one. Whatchamacallit, Kardashian, that one. If that Kardashian was to be announced to be the lead role in the Coco Chanel story, and she fucking rocked it out, like all of a sudden, boom, she came out there and was just like, damn, she can act. She really put the work in. She really did a good job. Would you then say, okay, she has a talent, she has the discipline, I'll accept her, or she should be accepted as an actor, not just a Kardashian? Would you say that, or you still be like, she still come from that tainted family? Kendall Jenner. Thank you, Miss AKA lady.
Are you asking me that question?
Yeah, I'm just curious. If she went out and did the shit, if she did the damn thing?
Yeah, if again, man, because you can't. And you and I have talked about this before when it comes to comedians that you know we may not like personally.
But are funny.
And yeah, that's a good comment by Dino. But so she did, killed it. Hey man, it's a talent, bro. You cannot shit on real talent. So if she did do that, started in the movie, came out, killed it, like, yo, hey man, she did it. Who's the actress that played? She played Billie Holiday. This is her first role. And it's the U.S. versus Billie Holiday. I cannot think of that lady's name, but to my knowledge, that was her first major role. And bro, she killed it.
I have to look that up. Sister Rosin, thank you so much for the $15 cash app. I appreciate that. Hey, y'all, I'm gonna learn how to put those cash apps on the screen so I can give y'all proper due. I don't know how to do it yet. Give me a couple weeks. Brother JT says he's gonna show me. But yeah, I mean, so in your mind, it really doesn't matter the fact that the Kardashians are famous for being famous, pretty much famous for her sister getting her back blown out. But if they were to actually become dedicated to the art and become an actor or a filmmaker or a writer and have talent, then you're like, all right, you win. So it doesn't, like, you win. Okay.
No, because again, it's if you're good at what they're asking you to do, then you can't get mad at that. Now, again, the journey there, you can have your feelings. You can feel some sort of way about how they got there. But the idea of them doing the job well, if they do the job well, that's what it is. I got to find that lady's name, man. But she killed it in that role. And I remember asking, like, throughout the movie, I was like, was she in something else? Because like, she's fucking good. You know,
if anyone in the chat can do that for me, pull up that IMDb and let us know who she is. What's the name of that movie again?
The People versus Billie Holiday. And if
someone can pull that up.
Dino's comment about Denzel's son is another example of his dad being super famous, but he has carved out his own path, and he's good at what he does. He is not a shitty actor at all. He's very good at what he's actually on Broadway right now with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh shit, that's a proper actor then. Because that movie he did, Tenet, I don't know about that one, but
Tenet
he did his role.
Goddamn,
he played his role.
Yeah, the problem with Tenet was I felt like, I'm like, is this a calculus class? What the fuck is this? Like,
and there
like
you
I
go,
felt like,
there you go, right there.
Audrey Day. Yep. She's killed it in that role.
And appreciate that from Sister Rosalind and Miss Glow Girl. Appreciate that. And if y'all could do me one more favor, could y'all look at her IMDb and see if that was in fact her first major role? Because since times like she came on the scene with that and just knocked it out the park. Now, how did she get that audition? I wonder.
She gave an interview and she told how she did it, and I can't remember how it was, but whoever saw her, they saw her because she does music, but they saw her in another at a club or something. And it's like, yo, you should audition for. We want you for this role. So, in that sense, man, and this is why I also applaud Denzel's son, John, is that he's not trying to get by on the fact that his dad is who his dad is.
Yeah, and look what Miss Gloger had to say. She started on YouTube. She's an awesome singer. Voice is unbelievable. Wow. So again, she's taking this new road, and she was able to parlay that into an opportunity where she could showcase her talent. So Ty, as a fellow actor, you see her doing bigger and better things.
Yeah, because again, you plus that role. I mean, to play a part of someone that is known, that people can Google. That's the thing. If they can Google this person, because you know what we do. We watch movies, and then especially if you watch them at home, you pause and then you Google shit. It's like, oh,
right.
They really
like we doing right now. We right now as we doing this, somebody's out there Googling IMDb.
Yeah, exactly. So so when you do that, that's a harder thing to tackle because you got to be good as an actor, but you also have to stay true to the real person. So Billie Holiday was such a complicated person that she had to demonstrate that, and she had to exude that. You had to feel sorry for the character and also understand the character, so she did all of that, but again, like I said, if you can't if you would have said they cast her only because they saw her on YouTube and she did that performance, man, you can't get mad at that. They just happened to see her there. But if they would have cast her only from seeing her on YouTube, then you would have saw her on screen and you're like, this is trash. Then you can get upset. It's like, why would you pick somebody from YouTube that's not fucking talented?
So it's a wasted slot. Y'all wasted a slot. It could have been someone else. Okay. And Nightish has a good point. The market dictates. And this is talking about the Jenner, or talking about the Kardashians. She comes from that Paris Hilton, Nicole Richie space, which is true. Talking about Kim Kardashian. It's who she banged. Infamy or fame capitalized. We get a spotlight and do nothing. So, and I think Ty was kind of saying that, and I ain't gonna lie to you. She parlayed that into $1 billion industry, man. I ain't mad at her. You know what I mean? I done smashed a lot of chicks to look like her, boy, and they ain't become billionaires. You know what I mean? And listen, and Ray J didn't become a billionaire. He was in the video. He was the other half of the video.
I know. People forget what they forget about Ray J. Goodness gracious. He's a dude that started it all, and they just totally forgot about him.
Yeah. He literally busted it all off. And he didn't even get he shot up the club, and he's not a billionaire. So it does take skill to an extent, and it takes that kind of work. There's one more I wanted to bring up. Here it is. I wanted to bring up one more, and this is Pierce Brosnan, right? Model, filmmaker. I wouldn't have been able to pick this dude out of a lineup. I don't think he looks like his dad. I'm a huge Pierce Brosnan fan. This guy's the son of Pierce Brosnan and Keely Shaney. I don't know who she is. She's a journalist, but he is an actor, it looks like. And he said, correction, he's a filmmaker, right? So he said, discussing nepotism, he told E! News, I think we need to just be grateful for our blessings. It's always going to be there, and we got to recognize it. At the end of the day, we're just grateful to be here. And this is a guy who seems kind of humble with it. He was like, he seems like a handsome fella. Like, he's there, doing this modeling thing, and now he's a filmmaker. So
Yeah, you can't get mad at that. You can't get because
I gotta give him his props for that because
yeah.
yeah. So
He's
I gotta give him his
acknowledging that
props.
it's something that's there. So and that's the type of situation where you say, okay, he's saying count your blessings because that's what it is. You're getting a
Yes.
ton of opportunities that somebody else didn't get. That somebody else did not get, bro. A bunch of other people that
Yeah.
didn't get.
Didn't get. And then I guess like her acting debut, it looks like Sister Ross is saying it was the Billie Holiday story. But Miss AKA lady was saying that she was she has a few movies including Marshall and Cars. Maybe she did some voiceover work in Cars, and maybe she had a small role in Marshall. So, but whatever. It's not like she was already A-list, B-list, or whatever. She wasn't on radar, and she got out there. So, so yeah, like it is what it is. Is business. You know, Dino Dinosaurs, like Kim's mom shows them tapes. She showed did again that they planted $1 billion seed, man, to lead to this big old tree they got. I ain't mad at them. I'm not mad at them. Miss AKA lady, they never forgot about Ray J. They kept their foot on his neck for years in the background, apparently. And they're like, yeah, I guess he had to sign all kind of NDAs or whatever. They just gave him a little piece. I don't know much about that. Maybe I'll look into it. But Ray J came out recently talking some stuff, saying I'm going to come out and tell all. But at this point, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You're going up. You talk about David and Goliath. I don't think it is what it is. Plus, you're a dude. I mean, in that business, I mean, technically, yo, that was porn. And women always do better in porn than men. It's what it is. It's just one of those double standards that, you know, the women don't like to hear, but it helps. Go ahead.
Most dudes don't watch porn for the dudes. So
yeah, thank you.
And
those who do, that's a different kind of porn. And ain't nothing wrong with it either. I ain't judging. It
reminds me of that Seinfeld episode. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
So let's transition. I hope y'all enjoying this, y'all. I really do. Ty and I are gonna try to do this. Bro, I think initially we're gonna try to do once a month. Is that what we're gonna try to do? We're gonna try to do this once a month.
That'll work.
If we can, if Ty's, you know, can handle it, we might do more, but we're gonna try to do at least once a month. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. And Miss Globe Girl was like, yeah, that ship sailed for Ray J. It sure did, bro. Too bad he wasn't on board that $1 billion ship. I wanted the brother to make it, you know what I mean? But that's another one. Ray J, why was he famous in the first place? Because of his sister, right?
Yep. Exactly.
And Ray J apparently just didn't have the talent to parlay that into a sustainable career.
Exactly, bro. So that's why I said it. It's so many different factors that go into it. The music business itself. is hard, bro. Unless you're a generational voice like that. Like I said, you look at how many people in Whitney Houston's circle came from music. Dionne Warwick, CeCe Houston.
I mean, you tied all the way back to Motown and that Motown machine. You tied all the way back to that.
Yet she is the most famous.
Yes,
by
far.
You see what I'm saying? So it you never know. And you know, Brandy, great. She had a great career too. I mean, she still tours every once in a while, but you know, she had the same thing. But you know, a lot of people paid attention to Ray J because of Brandy. So I think what happens is like I said, you got to look at it in the sense of, again, if you can back up the hookup. If you can back up the hookup, I mean, yeah, you can get mad at how they got the hookup, sure, but you can't argue with talent, bro. You know, but speaking of which, I want people to understand, like with not Knives Out, but Glass Onion, Janelle Monáe, man, she kills it in that movie, bro. She kills it in that movie.
Perfect segue.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't come from, you know, she doesn't have a hookup like that, but she damn good at what she does.
Given the opportunity, she ran with it. Speaking of, here it is right here, y'all. So Ty told me to watch Glass Onion because we wanted to talk. I'm like, hey man, let's talk about some movies. He like, hey man, have you seen Glass Onion? Like, as a matter of fact, I haven't. I was gonna watch it, but I didn't. So I had to watch it because it is. And the movie's pretty good. Glass Onion is really is number 2 in a I don't know I guess they're gonna make more. Is it gonna be a franchise? Maybe, but it started from Knives Out.
Yeah.
Starring Daniel Craig, which we were talking about, like from James Bond fame. And then what's her name again?
Janelle Monáe. So I looked at. I thought the movie was pretty good. Glass Onion, Knives Out mystery.
Rotten Tomato meter, right? 93% from the critics and audience. 93%. I don't think I haven't seen a Rotten Tomatoes score this high on a movie in a long time, bro. A lot of people seem to enjoy this movie. I enjoyed the movie, man. So let's talk about Glass Onion, man. Well, you know what I mean? And we're gonna do our best, y'all, to stay away from spoilers. We don't want to spoil it for you. I think it's a really entertaining movie. You should go see it. Good story. It builds on an existing story. I think you should check it out. But Ty, what are your thoughts on Glass Onion?
I loved it. I loved it. I actually enjoyed it more than Knives Out, and I liked it more than the original one. Because again, sometimes you like when I like how they I like how they go, because they'll show you something and you'll think it's one thing, and then when they go back and show you the other part, that's part like, oh shit, that's why it looked like that, you know. And again, not to give away anything. Um I thought the movie across the board was great. Great cast. Great cast, bro. And this again, as I say, you go look at Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson is great in this movie. You know what I'm saying? But Janelle Monáe steals the show, man. Like she looks so good on camera, bro. She's beautiful. Like she looks so good on camera, and she's so natural on in because her care. I don't want to give anything away, but just know she has to act her ass off in that movie.
If she screwed up, the movie would have flopped. All the pressure was put on her. Brother Smith was I watched until they were on the pier wearing masks and acting like slaves, because over there in Australia, man, it was bad in California, but what they were doing in Australia was horrible when it came to the beer bug and all that. Brother Smeebles, I challenge you to push past that part, because that only lasts a couple minutes, and they explain it away. They do that for a reason in the movie to kind of build some stuff and show you some stuff that actually what they were trying to say is basically it is all fake. There's a cure for it, right? That's the one that got me, like, oh, they actually have a real cure for this thing. And so I would encourage you to push past that, Brother Smeebles, and watch the rest of the movie, because once they get to the island, it really takes off. I thought it was a fun movie. I thought they told a good story, and to me, it's all about storytelling. That's the thing. That's what Hollywood to me has always been great at doing, telling stories, until recently, when they start to mix stories into politics and they're losing money. So I thought this was a pretty great one. But you're right though. I don't want to give anything away, but her character is key to the whole movie, and the way she played it and the way she was moving about, and man, that woman can act. I'm afraid I recognize her, but I didn't know her name. Man, she did an outstanding job, bro. So I see why you give her credits, man. Shout out to her, man. Let's give her a horn clap on that. She rocked it. And for Hollywood to give that role to an African-American woman when they could have easily given it to any other group, you know what I mean? It could have been the Asian group, the Latino group. It could have been an African, not necessarily African-American. They could have gave that to an African. So, I gotta get that to her, bro. And I think that's a good example of Hollywood doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to casting, when it comes to directing, when it comes to all that stuff. I think they did a good job, bro.
Yep, most definitely. That's what I said. It's one of those things where when you watch it, sometimes you watch a movie and you keep looking at your phone or you watch and you're like, how much longer is in this movie? And I didn't do that with this. This movie was entertaining the entire way through, So yeah.
And my thing was, I felt that way at the beginning. If you hadn't told me to watch it and I knew I had to watch it for this show, I don't think I would have made it through the beginning, because I thought it was a little bit slow in the beginning. I thought, like, right in the opening sequence of the movie, it moved a little too slow for me. I understand what they were doing. They were establishing characters and they were establishing all this stuff, setting up this big mystery. You know what I mean? But I'm like, bro, they don't hurry up.
I'm also a fan of that type of stuff, like going back to movies like Clue and Murder by Death, which I'm probably aging myself. Some people who watch this probably may not know those movies, but I love those murder mystery movies, So this is one of those things where I'm like, okay, it's a whodunit. let's see who did it, and it tells a few different stories, and each character's background you look at, and you can see each one of those characters in modern society. You can see them, like you can see the rich dude who for some reason is very unself-aware.
Right.
uh you can see the politician who thinks they're trying to do the right thing but knows they're doing the wrong thing in order to try to do this other thing. You can see the social media dude who's just I'm trying to influence. I need to get my views up. You know what I'm saying? And you can see the not washer but the has former supermodel who now has to come to grips with the fact that she's no longer that anymore. So you saw a lot of this stuff, and then again you see the character who is just a regular character who is like, I'm just trying to figure out what happened here. So
and when I say this movie has twists that are spot on and well written, bro, I mean that, because it definitely, again, my only complaint was I'm talking about the very opening sequences when we had like the original, like, we still had the text swirling through and all this kind of stuff. The opening sequences I thought was just too slow. But once like Brother Smeeble was talking about the pier, once you got to that part and they actually got on the boat and got to the island, yo, it is definitely worth the watch, y'all. And the way that they unfolded this story, I don't think I've seen before, because I mean it's familiar, but it's not the way that the way they tell the story, and it unravels in a different way that I've never quite seen before. I've seen variants of it, and I tip my hat to the writer and the director, because they made that work perfectly. You know what I mean? So when you see the twists and turns, it's like, oh, okay. So it's not like a da-da. It's kind of like a, oh,
yeah,
type shit.
exactly, bro. It was a lot of that. I remember sitting there, me and my wife were watching it, and it was a couple parts where we had to pause it, like, oh, okay, now that first scene makes total sense. Now I get it.
Absolutely. So was that Goldie Hawn in that movie? Goldie Hawn playing Helen Sharp in a mental institution. Hilarious. I'm not sure what movie you're talking about there, brother Hayoka. Death Becomes Her. He's talking about that movie. Okay, yeah, he's talking about Death Becomes Her.
Oh yeah, that is Goldie Hawn. Yeah. Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. So, and again, every actor in here really did their job well. Like this complete cast was very believable. They did great work on they didn't overact or underact. They all had talent. They touched on so many themes and so many tropes, and it all worked out really well for this movie. It's a playful movie, y'all. Don't get it twisted. It's not one of those crazy. They're not trying to say that this is real life. Nah, they built this crazy world and they told this story, and yeah, and it's. I think you guys should watch it. Yo, Todd, thanks for telling me to watch that movie.
Yeah,
I was thoroughly.
Shout out to Dave Bautista too, by the way, man. Who, when the movie first came on, I used to watch wrestling and I used to think it was real, but don't judge me for that.
Too late.
Right, exactly. But shout out to Dave Bautista for being one of a small handful of people who started out as wrestlers and has developed. He's a pretty decent actor, man. He is. So between him and The Rock, those are the two that I could think of. I mean, I think John Cena is kind of building up a nice resume as well, but
he's the action guy. Like, you know what I mean? John Cena is more of the action, but you're right though, I guess.
Dave Bautista, man, like he has another movie coming out with M. Night Shyamalan where he plays a different kind of character. So I was just saying, for people who have made that transition from one medium to another, and because I know they tried to do it with Hulk Hogan and these people back in the day, and it just those performances fell flat. So
well, there's a female who did that, came from MMA and wrestling, and she's in The Mandalorian. What's her name? They tried to cancel her, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
Gina something.
Yeah,
what is her name? But I ain't gonna lie to you, she did Haywire. I don't know if you ever saw that movie.
I did see Haywire. She was good in Haywire. She was good in The Mandalorian. She's good in The
Mandalorian. Like, remove her from her politics. I like her as an actress. I don't like people in certain politics into this. Like, come and do the job I hired you to do, and let me present this world so I can get into it and just have a good time.
That's where she messed up, because she should have just said, you know what, I'm here to do a job, and this is the job I'm going to do. But we won't get into it because I know we're in a different thing here. But when you see that a person, when their personal ideology is not something that would welcome me as a person, I have a problem with that. Meaning that if I wasn't buying a ticket to see this person's movie, they would shit on me. They wouldn't want people that look like me to have the same rights. That's where I have a problem with her.
Right. And again, I remove, like, if we were to talk about her on Downrange Podcast, we could have that conversation. But when we're talking about just movie making, yes,
she was great in those things. Definitely.
And that's where I am with this particular platform. I want us to just talk about the art and not get into, because like we said before in this show, there are so many comics out there that I love, stand-up comedians that I love, that I would not have a drink with. You know what I mean? But I respect their hustle and I respect their art. And a lot of people are like, well, no, you can't do that. That's disingenuous. Like, no, I pay that dude to make me laugh. He make me laugh. I don't want to know what he's doing after that. And this is why I don't like social media. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Don't force me to have that kind of, don't force me to mix these two worlds. I don't want to mix them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to leave it the way it is. So, but yeah, we might have to do a show on that. We might have to do a show when Hollywood meets politics, bro. We might have to do it. You know what I mean? We'll do that. Yeah. Maybe quarter three. We'll run this the way it's running, and then maybe we'll do that. But so overall, if I ain't gonna lie to you, man. If I was on a scale of 1 to 10, if I was to rate this movie Glass Onion, man, I gotta give it a 8.5. I think I give it 8.5.
That's fair.
Yeah, what would you rate that, bro?
I would give it about that too. 8.5, 9, maybe. Just because, again, you know, sometimes you think it's very rare that I would go back and watch a movie that I just saw. This is one of those movies I would go back and watch it again. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, okay, cool. If it comes on TV again, I'll stop and watch it. But this is one of the movies, as we're talking about, like, yeah, I'll probably sit down and watch it again. So yeah, very highly rated. It is very hard because, again, it has so many different elements to it that, you know, because it's hard sometimes, you know, to keep people's attention for that long a time. Because, you know, with Babylon, you know, the knock on Babylon has been that it's super 3 hours. Bro, you asking somebody to sit in the theater for 3 hours? God damn, it's a lot.
I ain't doing that. I sit at home. I think Hollywood is making movies knowing people aren't going to run to the theaters anymore. I think they're making movies knowing people are going to sit out, they're going to wait, they're going to come up, they're going to stream it. How far you think? How long before you think we can actually buy a block, like a new release movie, and be at home and watch it? You think that's coming? That technology is coming where you can actually stream a brand new movie that's already in theater? Well, I guess you already can.
Shit, I was about to say, I know people who streaming movies that's still in production.
But for like that, is because I think that we're coming to a point in life where, because I don't like going to theaters. I don't care if they got alcohol and food. I don't like going to theater. I don't want to be around people. You know what I mean? Like, these people make me. If they had a way to rate a audience, like if you could guarantee me a rating audience, otherwise people ain't gonna be screaming out. You know what I mean? Talking on their phone. You know what I mean? Kids crying and running around. I don't want to deal with all that. I'd rather just sit at home and watch the movie.
It is crazy because streaming services have helped the movie goer, but now they found a way financially to make it work for them as a movie maker. So before it was different because a lot of people had the Fire Stick and they were just able to just kind of bootleg the movie at home or whatever. So I think I like the movie going experience to a degree. Because we saw 3 movies in the theater. We saw Babylon, Glass Onion, and the Whitney Houston movie. And luckily the theater was relatively kind of spacious. Right. So we weren't like crowded. So, but I do remember at times when someone would cough, the first thing you do is look over like, how far are you?
Right. We got in the room.
Exactly.
Shit.
So
Well,
in that sense, I don't like that part of it. And I'm also a person, you talking about a dude who loves wearing sweats. So anytime I got to get dressed, I'm like, God damn. Okay, do we really got to? Can we what? The first thing I do when a movie comes out, bro, is I check and see if I can watch it for free at the crib.
see,
That's the first thing I do.
and for free, he means on a system that he kind of pays like a real low rate to, because we know Ty ain't bootlegging nothing. He's paying for all his services. So for anybody who might be watching, but my thing is this: the arc light has spoiled the rest of the country for me. It has spoiled me on my movie watching experience. If I can't go to an arc light theater, I don't want to go watch it in the theater.
Man, remember the one in Hollywood?
Yes.
The one in Hollywood was the best. Oh man, I would go get my little tequila set up there. The only thing I can't remember if the seats recline, but that's the thing for me now, bro. The seats have to, if the seats recline, I'm all ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm already into it. The more they recline, the better. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so yeah. The ArcLight was great, man. It was a great venue. Plus, it was close to the crib. So
They're still around, or did they close down?
the one in Hollywood is closed permanently. I think they may have one or two throughout the area, but that one in Hollywood is closed. Which is weird. Why would you close
the one on Sunset? You talking about the one on Sunset across the street from that?
Yep.
Oh my God, they closed that. But Jack in the Box, right across the street from the director school, whatever that movie school.
Yep.
Damn, that's
so
closed. I'm heartbroken.
So yeah, man. I think the movie going experience. I think they're slowly trying to get people to come back to the theaters because I mean there is something to be said for seeing the movie on the big screen. There is something to be said for that. Like there is a part of me that still enjoys that part. But there's the kid in me enjoys seeing the movies on the screen in the theater. The adult in me is like, hey man, is there any way I can do this shit without leaving the house?
That's me now, man. Because I'm like, bro, I got a 60-inch screen. Pause. I got a big old TV screen down here, and you know what I mean. I don't mind setting up the room where you have the surround sound and you have the Pro Logic and everything. So, and once you turn all the lights out, bro, for real, to me, it's like I'm in the theater. So, I mean, my thing is like, bro, if I could just pay $30-$40 or whatever it is to watch whatever. Like, last thing I saw in the theater was Top Gun. I saw Maverick in the theater.
Right.
You know what I mean? I did a video on the movie. I thought the movie was great. I think it was old school Hollywood making. It told a good story. It was a random story, but it was a good story nonetheless. You had the jet fighters and all this kind of stuff. I thought it was good. It was the nostalgia of having Iceman and Maverick, seeing each other. I thought they did a good job with that. Shout out to Val Kilmer. I hope he's doing better. I don't think he is. I think his condition is deteriorating, which is sad. So prayers for that, brother. But I thought, I was like, man, this was cool. But I don't rush out to the theaters anymore. I just don't. And even Brother Smeebles is like, the movie industry used to make their money on DVDs. I mean, it's different now. I think they can make a lot more money on streaming direct to the customer, but we'll see. He was like, I know a few movies that bombed in the movies and made like 5 to 15 times more from DVDs. Right. And most people, like, the movies come out like again, this brother's over in Australia. Brother Smith was saying, yeah, man, in Australia, movies come out and 1 or 2 weeks later you can hire it, basically get it on YouTube. It's kind of like that here too. You can get it on IMDb or some other streaming service, depending on who put it out. If Paramount put it out, or when HBO gets it, you just pay, $5, $10, $15, whatever, and you can watch it. We got Scam Mike in here, brother Dusto's in the house. What's good? So I mean, I think we're coming. I think we're getting to a point where they're gonna go direct to the consumer with these movies. I think I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it because I don't want to, again, until they can guarantee me a good crowd. I don't want to be in there with somebody, kids screaming. I don't want to see people's cell phones open, people talking on their phones, and all this, little kids moving around. Y'all know I'm old, man. I got PTSD. You don't want to be in a dark room with me in quick movements. That don't rock well with me. Like sudden movements.
Yeah. Man, look, like I said, like I've become not a snob, but yeah, I guess bougie in the sense of I guess
I'm bougie as hell, bro. I'm bougie as hell.
Yeah, when it comes to movie theaters, like there's 2 movie theaters that we saw We saw 2 movies in one theater and 1 movie in another theater. So the one theater, the seats reclined all the way, which was great. That part was cool. But it didn't seem as clean as the other one. The hot dogs, you got to ask them a question. That's the other thing, man. When I ask you how long the hot dogs have been up there, if you pause and you have to think about it, it means that them hot dogs have been on there too long.
Been up there too long, bro.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how long the hot dogs been there? It's like, well, let me.
I'll have some popcorn. I'll have some popcorn and some of these Sour Patch watermelons, please.
Exactly. The soda machine. How is every goddamn soda not? How's it every goddamn soda flat? You have a million fucking sodas in this thing. How's all of them flat? So that was one, but then the other one, the seats don't recline all the way, but everything else about it is great. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I'd rather go to that one. They just got to have them seats go back a little bit more. But I'm telling you, man, it's changed. It's changed a lot from the days when we used to go. I don't know if you used to do it back in Cincinnati, but when they used to show the kung fu movies in the theaters, and you didn't know what the fuck was running across your feet,
bro. Running. I remember once I thought somebody threw some popcorn at me, man. And this dude pulled out a lighter. Oh, it ain't a popcorn, man. That was just a roach. It was a big old flying roach. Yeah, we had to leave. We had to go. Like, all right, you know what? I guess I'm not gonna find out what happened to Agent Hightoe and Golden Arms. I'm out of here. Watch that on TV. So let's get to the final movie we wanted to do a review on, man. And this movie, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Right up front, I'm not a fan of this movie. But Ty wanted to talk about it, and I'm like, let's go ahead and talk about it, man. So we're gonna talk about The Woman King, man, released 2022. Don't get me the line to which I forget which studio did this movie. I'm gonna get better at this, y'all. So now I should be telling you what studio did the movie, when it released. I should be telling you who the stars are. So the next episode, I'm gonna have all that down packed. But this time I didn't. I screwed up. My bad, y'all. My bad. I'll give myself the old.
You big dummy.
I'll give myself the big dummy for not preparing. But The Woman King, right? So I couldn't find it on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Just want to start there. Could not find it. So I'm thinking it must have got beat up on Rotten Tomatoes. But here on IMDb, they got 6.7 rating.
Okay.
So when you look at it, it looks like they're 18.9% was like 8,020 votes, rated it a 10, and 19.3%, 8,197 votes, rated it a 1. And then you got the stuff in between, which like it seems like people, it was like between 8 and 7. Say again.
It looks like they mostly liked it.
Kind of like they mostly liked it. I was not a fan of this movie. Now we talked about this movie. We talked about the subject matter of this movie on one of the shows I did with my brother Rook, because Rook's like an historian and was, was able to. We were talking about female warriors throughout the history of humans,
right?
And this came up. We talked about, the homie and the Goji. So I want to show you what Rook had to say, and we can kind of go from there, bro. Because, again, we did this episode months and months ago. So this was like maybe 2 or 3 months before the movie actually released. And I want you to hear what Rook had to say about this movie, man, which I thought was pretty funny. My bad. I'm sitting here trying to produce y'all. I'm half sick. It is what it is. So let's listen to what my brother Rook had to say about this movie. I don't think you've heard this. So pay, listen up to what Rook had to say. Here we go.
The homie Amazons.
Yeah. You want? Yeah, we could. All right. So there's a movie coming out, y'all, which got, it just happened that this movie is coming out. We did this show for Miss Globe Girl. But it just happened.
I just found out about, because you told me about it, and then my friend texted me yesterday and mentioned about it. So, I mean, I don't know about the movie at all, but I can tell you one thing: they're gonna have a hard time spinning that one.
and tell us why. Let's real quick tell us why this is gonna a tough
maybe
pill
you
to
should talk
swallow.
about the movie, because I don't know anything about the movie.
I don't know anything about the movie either. I know it's coming out.
Maybe talk about a little bit, what you know, so everyone knows what we're on.
Yeah, let me, because I actually put it up on my phone, and yeah, The Warrior Queen is the name of the movie.
The Warrior Queen.
And see, I was wrong. I didn't even know the name of the movie, y'all. It was Woman. It was Woman King. I didn't even know that.
I'm looking it up too.
So, is there any historical facts about this? And Rook told me the following. So here we go.
Well, first, the Amazon term was given to them by the Europeans, but they were the Ahosi, that means like the king's wives, or sometimes called the Mino, or our mothers. The kingdom of Dahomey was centered on what's today Benin, and they were the Fon people, which was one of the biggest ethnic groups in that area. Called the area was called Dahomey, and they were a highly militaristic society. They fought at least, I think, 11 entrenched wars with the neighboring empire, even stronger empire to the east, called the Oyo Empire, which lasted over a 20-year period, which started in like 1728 to 1748. And but after the first year of fighting this bigger enemy, they started what are now called the Dahomey Amazons in 1729. That was when they were formed. And really, they originally formed just to fill out their numbers, to make them look like a bigger army than they really were. And the women were only given banners. They weren't given weapons or anything. They just said, basically, here's some banners, stand there and make us look bigger, to intimidate the enemy. But what's really interesting is that, and this is something I'm pretty sure the movie's going to not tell you guys, but unfortunately, the Dahomey economy was based on conquest and slavery. They routinely did slave raids on neighboring villages and areas like that, and collected slaves. That's in fact, the Dahomey Empire rose to power on the Atlantic slave trade, because they were actually the biggest supplier of slaves to the Europeans, the Dahomey. And I have to add, unfortunately for this movie, that the Dahomey Amazons were very much a part of those slave raids, where they would capture, including women and children, by the way. A lot of these slaves, they would keep them for themselves, in part not just to work on their plantations, ironically, the royal plantations, but also they used these slaves for annual mass sacrifice. So on average, they would sacrifice 500 of these slaves, including women and children, by the way. These are the Dahomey that this movie's about. I don't know what the movie's about, but they're going to have to spin the shit out of this thing.
So like Rook went on to like really break down the true history of the Dahomey, right? And then this movie came out, and I Ty was like, you got to watch this movie, bro. And I did. You see how the movie kind of, what Hollywood did with this story, they tried to tell a Hollywooded up version, which they always do. You know what I mean? They say it was, I think they say it was based on true events or something like that, but it's not, a historical account of what's going on. Right. And the women, and the reason the women were so fierce in battle, and Rook went on to say this, but I wanted to just kind of cut this short so we can get into to review the movie. The reason they were so fearsome in battle is because they had guns. And the movie did try to, show that. But how did they get the guns? They were trading with the slave traders. That's why they had the guns. In the Oyo, they would devastate the Oyo. The Oyo had horses, but they would devastate the Oyo because the Dahomey had guns. And the women had to fight because all of the men were pretty much sold into slavery. And that's why, and it was the Dahomey Empire. They were like one of the last kingdoms in Africa who stopped dealing in slave trade. In fact, it was the British government that kind of stopped them. They couldn't get past the British blockades, so they couldn't sell slaves to the Americas anymore because of Britain. And they even went to the king of Britain trying to cut a side deal that would still allow them to sell slaves to the Americas. So this is the Dahomey. These were an evil bunch of people. Now, because they look like me and, they were women, I don't care. But the movie, let's get into the movie, bro. I'll let you start. I done said all that, but I'll let you start with the story that they kind of told in the movie itself, man. What were your thoughts on that?
It's Viola Davis, man. No, I'm just kidding. kidding. I'm just kidding. You can't get mad when the snot bubble come out. She
Right,
did
bro.
the snot bubble, man. She did the snot bubble. Man, come on, man. You can't get mad at the snot bubble. Nah, in all seriousness, and you first told me about that, like when I mentioned the movie. I would say because I cried, and I told you when I watched it that I cried, but I told you why I cried, because I knew it was based in reality, seeing Black people on these slave blocks and seeing the barbaric treatment they experienced, not only at the hands of Black folks, but at the hands of white folks. So it was a two-part thing where, one, I feel bad that our ancestors had to deal with this, which is, by the way, which is why I got mad at Kanye for saying slavery was a choice. But then I also understood.
We are not allowed to talk about that motherfucker, bro. I'm sorry. That man is so far gone. It's a whole nother story. We got to do a whole separate episode on his dumb ass.
But then there's another part where you look at it and you say, man, we did this to our own people as well. So I remember there was one part when I'm watching, and like I'm trying not to cry like, because my wife's sitting here, so I'm watching the movie and just tears. I'm just like, because in my head, I'm envisioning the reality of this, what they're trying to portray in a movie. And I said, man, this is something that really happened to our people. So I had mixed feelings about it. There's a part of me that, it feels like the story needed to be told, because there are things that it will make you go back and look at stuff and say, well, wait a minute. So we were wrong in this part too, but there's also the part of me that I'm so tired of seeing Black trauma. I'm so tired of seeing Black trauma. I'm so tired of seeing a movie about MLK getting killed, or Emmett Till, or how the government fucking destabilized the Black Panthers. I'm so tired of seeing these movies where we are fucking just totally destroyed. So I think there was a small part of me that was like, man, it's good to see. It was nice to see strong warriors fight. It was nice to see strong warriors. It was nice to see our people in a forceful light. That's why, again, with Black Panther, why I think a lot of racists got mad at that. Just like, what? You can't have an African force like that. Why? Why can't we have an African force of highly trained military people? Why? So with the Woman King, I think that's what I kind of looked at it as. But it was eye-opening to me, because I remember telling you about it and you telling me this. And so it made me go look at this and say, oh shit, this is another aspect of this.
Right. So, and as far as the movie goes, I'm gonna respond as well, but I want to I'll respond and then we'll talk about the movie itself. So we'll make the two separate. I'll respond as well. So I understood the historical truth of the homie, which I wouldn't have known were it not for my buddy Rook, right? So I understood the historical truth. And I got upset when I saw this, because I'm like, this is the Hollywood bullshit that I absolutely hate, right? This is not good storytelling, first of all, because you're trying to fool people who look like me. You know what I mean? You're trying to fool people into some bullshit, because people look at stuff on movies and they run with it. I remember when the movie JFK came out, everybody was like, oh shit, that makes so much sense. But then you start really peeling back the layers and start looking into it. It's like, that's not. There's just no way you can make that shot with that type of Italian boat action rifle, da-da-da-da-da. And then you see people doing that shit all the time. Motherfuckers who are barely marksmen. So like, you can get those rounds off, and you can put rounds on target. So people look at movies and they automatically believe it's true. That's what happened. Bullshit. The homie were evil. Now here's the thing. In America is starved for movies in Hollywood that has Black women,
right,
women who are dark, and natural hair and all that. And it's like we can't get those movies made, period. So it's like, I understand the one side of it when it's like, hey, it's amazing that this movie got picked up and they actually did the movie. But then when you peel the layers back, they were like, well, shit, the creators are two white ladies. And they're pushing the narrative that is 100% feminism and all that, which I don't have a problem with. You know what I mean? But when you watch the movie and you see these, you know what I mean, this 5'6", 120-pound woman run up on a guy who is 6'2", 225 pounds, and she easily beats him with a sword or a spear. Like, come on, man, ain't gonna work that way. So my thing is, you had an opportunity to highlight women of color, of African descent. You had this opportunity. Why tell this bullshit story? There are plenty of good stories to tell. Or why not create one? One of the things I love about Black Panther, yeah, it's fantasy, but boy, it does feel good to see Wakanda, doesn't it? The shield and all these black people who are like super smart and all this kind of stuff. And they have this culture and they have this heritage. It feels good for a dude who doesn't really have a heritage. You know what I mean? My heritage is I am descendant of slaves. I don't know where I came from. I can track through DNA. Okay, maybe it's from these people, but I don't know these people. I don't know the stories. I don't know the songs. Like I'm a warrior. And it stops here. Like, I'm descendant of American warriors, but I don't know what tribe I'm from. And I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know those lessons. Like, I can't do a haka dance, you know what I mean? Or the African equivalent. So that's why I get so upset about this type shit, because it's this Hollywood bullshit. And I know we weren't supposed to put politics into this, but it really makes me mad because it's a travesty.
Hey, man, don't let me start.
But you're stumping on history. And you're stomping on the opportunity to teach people. We need to know our history. And you know what? If the truth is our ancestors sold us into bondage, then so be it. That's the truth. You know what I mean? But that you could have told a story using the same era in time in history, but you could have told it from the people who were the true heroes, right? The Dahomey was absolutely the evil people over there, but there were people who fought the Dahomey. There were people who fought the slave trade. And this movie tried to depict these women, the Agoji, some of these women, as those people. And I mean, that's like having a movie about Hitler and they're like, well, and Hollywood tried it. That fucking Tom Cruise movie. All the Nazis weren't bad. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. All the Nazis were bad. Not all the Germans. You know, there were men who fought in the Wehrmacht that weren't Nazis. Right. So when you try to skew that, it's fucked up. So that was my part. So let's get into the movie and I'll start. The movie itself was well shot. It was well cast. What I didn't like about the movie was the bullshit accents. They didn't need the accents. I had to turn on the subtitles, bro. You know what I mean? I had to turn on the subtitles. I didn't like that part. But I think the actors and actresses did a good job. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know the names of the actors and I don't know who directed it and all that kind of stuff, which I should know. And I apologize. I'll do better on the next show, y'all, I promise. But I thought the movie overall was okay. I mean, once I unplugged from reality, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to ignore all of the every time they talked about the homie and slavery, I was like, la, 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 la. I was like, I ain't going to pay attention to that part. But the story that they did tell, the story of the struggles of these women, the story of the struggles of the girls in the villages, how they had no control over who they got to marry and stuff like that. It was a very compelling story. And the way that they showed how the women warriors earned a place in leadership within the tribe, I thought that was compelling. The training sequences, the action sequences are really good. The outfits they were wearing, that was cool. You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff, I'm like, damn, are they wearing skirts and shit? Like they had on like shorts. I'm like, damn, Africans had shorts back then. So with some of that shit, I was like, I don't know about. But overall, I thought it told a pretty decent story, an okay story once you unplug from history. I think the actors did a really good job, and I ain't gonna lie, I was happy to see people who look like me doing this. You know what I mean? I think, and like you said, Viola Davis. Here's an older woman in Hollywood getting a lead. Now, she wasn't their first choice. Their first choice said no to the movie. There was a younger, and chat, help me out, y'all. There was a younger African woman. Someone, if you could go in the chat and put in like woman king or whatever it was. There was an actress, a well-known young African. She's an African actress. They wanted. She said no, and she actually spoke out against the movie. She said no. She went because she was like happy she had the role. She accepted the role. She moved to the region where the homie was, like the modern day region. And she was like, yeah, I'm here we're going to do this movie about how great the homie were. And they were like, hold on, what? And then they explained to her what was going on. and she backed out of the movie, and they got Viola Davis, huh?
Lupita. Yeah, she was in Black Panther.
They wanted her for this movie, and she said no once she discovered who the Dahomey were and what they did, and she backed out of the movie. But all the other actresses, of course, they did it. So they went with Viola Davis, an older woman, which is hard for women to get roles in Hollywood when they get a certain age. Like
Especially an action movie, bro.
Right, especially and the action sequences, bro, were on point. They did and I think that's what you were telling me, like, bro, you got to watch this shit. All right, they did they shit. That scene that they used in the trailer with them like coming out the tall grass and they kicking everybody out. I was like, all right, bro.
And that's what I mean by like when you watch it for the cinematography, and you know this because we've being on movie sets and seeing how the sausage is made, seeing it. And knowing how many camera angles had to be set up to make that shot look great, you're a fan of that. You're a fan of this process to, the lighting, the cinematography of how the music builds up to everything, all of this. So I thought the movie was great in the sense of, all the action sequences and everything like that. I was like, man, how is she that old and just kicking ass like that? Man, props to her.
What did she put her body through to do that? That shit's hard, bro.
Exactly. So I felt like, the movie itself, I honestly thought that, it again, I'm just so exhausted of seeing us losing as a culture. I understand the history of the Dahomey, which, by the way, every time they kept saying it, I felt bad because I thought they were saying Dahomey. Hey,
the homie. Yeah. Shout out to because that was in the chat. Shout out to Cody's King. Like, did he say the homie? Like, no,
yeah,
the homie.
Oh man, who the homie? Oh boy,
the homie. Little Ray in them.
Exactly. I was like, was it a real? Okay. So in that sense, because every time they would say it, I kept hearing it like slang, but watching it again, like I said, you just, because I remember when I saw the previews for Till coming out,
and I'm not gonna watch that movie. I just want to let you know right now, I'm not gonna watch that movie, bro.
No way in the world, because I'm like, I don't want to watch a movie where the bad guys not only hurt a child, but get away with it. They get away with it. And the person that they could hold accountable today, they refuse to. So I'm like, why would you make that? We know that story. And then they try to spin it and they say, well, because you got to see how the movement was started from this. It didn't stop any racism. It didn't stop any of this shit. It just is a blip in our constant struggle of dealing with this. So with the Woman King, I'm not gonna lie, the part where they come back she comes to the village and they slaying the fuck out of these motherfuckers. I'm like, yeah,
like go.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I took from it, where I'm like, nah, don't give them motherfuckers mercy. Fucking kill them. I'm that dude. So
you were unplugged. You're like, you know what? I don't care that this is a travesty to history. I don't care. It goes against the story. I want to see this shit, and I ain't mad at you for that, bro. I ain't mad at you.
I wanted to see, because again, the same thing with Black Panther. You look at it like, why can't we be more intelligent than these other people? Why can't we be more talented? Why can't we be more organized militarily? Why not?
Yeah. It's called science fiction. Why not? You know what I mean? But that was my biggest point. But overall, as far as the movie goes, I would give it a 5.5, 6. I'll give it a 6, right? Because all the technical stuff was tight. You know what I mean? You know, they paid really close attention to. They were trying to keep it kind of historically accurate to the area where where the fight scenes and all that, the villages and all that. They did a good job. I got to give them okay. You tried, so I'll give them a 6 on that one.
I would say
story and everything. Go ahead.
I would say about 8, as far as the movie itself. Aside from the politics of it, the movie itself. Because again, man, I got emotional I got emotional in the theater because I always say, man, one of the things that people hate about us the most as a culture is our resilience. They hate that. They hate that we've been through so much shit historically and we're still here. So like to see a story where all of the shit that they went through, everything, and to still come out and drive those people away, come to the realization that, yo, we are part of the problem as well. You know, that's what I took from it. Where I said, okay, at least we didn't come out being the pity case. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't like those stories anymore, man. I don't like them, and because I know what it is. Yeah, I know what this is. I know this what you're trying to say with this. I'm tired of those stories. You know what I'm saying? I want to see stories where we do triumph. That's why I was always a big fan of Blade. You know what I'm saying? And Equalizer. So I'm a big fan of the Equalizer. So
Equalizer is great. You know what? Maybe we'll do those two next time. Because we're gonna wrap this up. That was great, man. Man, 2 hours flew by, bro. I got behind. I thought we can get it done in like an hour and a half, and here we are, 2 hours. I want to wrap this up. Brother Dino Dinosaur, thanks for putting everybody up there. They're all the stars from the movie right there. Thank you very much. Life of Cash is in the house, y'all. What's good, fam? What's good? Welcome. Brother Marcus, I agree with you, man. What you were saying about the 300 thing, I do agree with you on that. You know what I mean? But like I said, it is what it is. I thought they did a good job. I want to play one more part from the video with Rook. There's one more part I want to play here, and then we're gonna wrap things up. We'll go into there's one thing I want to announce something to you guys right now. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you now while we're watching Rook. Me and Ty are not married to this name, man. I don't know. I like it. Ty like it, but I just needed to put something up there, and Ty and I was bouncing off. We were bouncing names off each other. The name I wanted to go with was niggas talking about movie. I wanted to do that, but Ty talked me out of it. Like, nah, I don't think we should do that. He's like, I love the title, but I don't think we should do that. So listen, y'all, what should we call this? What should we call this? You know what I mean? Why don't y'all go ahead and give us some ideas in the chat what we should call this first, and secondly, what movies would you like us to review, and what topics would you guys like to hear? Feel free to throw that in the chat for right now. And I want to play this one part about what Rook had to say, because here's the thing. People always ask me, like, well, damn, Don, what movie should they have made? Since you hating on the homie and da-da-da-da-da, what movie should they have made? And this is the part that Rook said that I agree with wholeheartedly. So check this out. Listen to what my brother has to say, and I agree with him wholeheartedly.
And again, no queen. So here you go. You have your first, your earliest known ruling African queen, Kandake Shankdak Heto. Might be saying that very wrong from the way they say it, but that's the best I can do. 20 years rule. There's another queen, or I should say Kandake Amani Reinas. She was a 1st century BC queen of the Nubians. During, again, this is the Muraddic period. Strabo, everyone knows Strabo. He actually called her the fierce, one-eyed Candace. Okay, remember, Candace is a corruption of Kandake. One eye. So she was blind in one eye and fought battles with one eye and won. She led an army, and I'm not just talking battles against like unnamed tribes, little tribes here and there. I'm talking about against the Romans, right? This is against the Romans. She had a 3-year war against these guys who at that time were in Egypt, right? And she defeated legions at Syene and Phila. Syene is kind of famous a little bit, I guess, to science nerds, because that's where that's actually one of the cities where Eratosthenes planted a stick in the ground. The other one was in Alexandria, and that's how he determined that the Earth was round, by looking at the shadows on him. He not only knew that the Earth was a sphere, but also knew it was about 25,000 miles around. One of the places he stuck that in the ground was at Syene, so that totally changed.
And here we are in 2022.
My brain goes.
Yeah, here we are. It just drifts off, but here we are in 2022, and people are saying the Earth is flat.
Oh my God.
Well, hey, no comment.
So right there, Rook was talking about it right there. There is in real life history, there is a woman who looked like us, who had one eye, who was the woman king of her people, and she fought off the Romans. The Romans were the most fearsome military power on the globe at their time. Rome. She stopped Rome. I went and fact checked this shit. He was spot the fuck on. Go look it up yourself. There's plenty of stuff on YouTube. There's plenty of stuff on a History Channel and stuff about that, talking about her. She took there's a Caesar's. There was a statue of Caesar, his head, in Africa. They found it in Africa. Why did they find it in Africa? Because she defeated his legions. She took his lands. She saw the statue. She had the head cut off the statue, and she put the statue underneath her front door step. So every time she stepped out of her home, her queen, her palace, she was stepping on Caesar. It was like a big fuck you. That's the story Hollywood should have shown. That's why I get so mad, because there are great people who look like us in history. There are great people that look like all kinds of people, Asians, Russians, British, men, women, young kids. Alexander the Great started his conquest when he was a kid. Tons of people. Let's tell the real story. That's why I get passionate about it. It's bullshit. And if you're not gonna tell the real story, just make you should be talking about do like they did on Black Panther. Make up a good story. You know what I mean? So that's why I got so mad about it. But this shit is crazy, man. So hey, Ty, man, that was the show, man. What do you think, man? Was that cool? We gonna keep doing this?
It was dope. Yes, most definitely. But hey, man, we just doing what we do, just from different coasts. That's all. We just doing what we do, but from different areas. This is the shit we used to do when we hung out in the same city. So I'm down. You know me, man. That's always, especially stuff like this. I could talk movies all day. I'm a huge movie buff, going all the way back to when I first saw Empire Strikes Back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on that. And we got Sister Candace for an idea for the title for this program, man. 2 guys, 1 movie. I really want to know movie edition. Miss Globe Girl, Brothers in the Know, movie review segment. Ooh, Brothers in the Know. Miss Globe Girl came up with that. Fire. Do a review of Professor Ron English, Fractionals in Africa. This is Brother Hayoka. YouTube 15 minutes and how it's impacted the world. Ty likes positive things. All right, we'll look at that, bro. We'll look at that. But me and Ty want to do reviews on some fun shit too. People seem to like Sister Candace's idea. John Wick, we might review it. Okay, John Wick takers. All right, cool. So we're looking at all this. Everyone got y'all get your stuff in there, because I'm gonna play a replay and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna write down everything y'all wrote as far as the titles. I'm gonna write down all of the movies you want us to review. I'm gonna look at all that stuff. Put all that in there, y'all. And so let's finish with this, Ty. Let's make this a thing. Whenever we have an episode and whenever we have guests, let's finish with this. Top 5. Ty, top 5 sci-fi movies. Go.
Top 5.
Your top 5.
And
no order, just your top 5.
Okay. Empire Strikes Back.
All right.
The reason why I say that, not because bad guys won mostly in that, and Han Solo gets frozen, taken. It's a whole nother story, but that's still better than that. What else? Man, that's a tough one. Hold on. I guess we can count Marvel movies, right?
Yeah. That's sci-fi.
Okay, cool. So I would say the Thor Ragnarok. The Avengers, the first Avengers, the first Iron Man, and hold on, and then I guess Return of the Jedi.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Return of the Jedi. All right. Return of the Jedi. All right. I'm just writing them down, man, because we're going to have to review some of these. And that's perfect. That's your top 5. I guess I got to do 5. I guess I got to do 5, right? So top 5 sci-fi films. Let's see. Alien. I would say Alien have to be in there because I just love those Space Marines. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. Let's see. What's another one? Like the Star Wars movies, man. I thought they were cool, but I wasn't crazy about it. I also include series and stuff like that. So Battlestar Galactica, man. Ronald D. Moore's Battlestar Galactica.
Oh wow, yeah.
That one, I continue I look at that as one whole body. I love that one. That is one of my favorite sci-fi epics out there. Let's see. You remember the first with Russell Crowe in it? What was the one? I guess if I can't remember it, I guess it's not my favorite, huh? But what was the one when they went back in time, where they went to a different dimension and there were like pyramids and it was the alien and they had to fight they went on to be I can't think of that was I can't name that one. I'm not gonna put it in there. But we got Alien, Battlestar Galactica. If I got to do the Star Wars, I would do Revenge of the Sith. I thought that was one of my favorites. Revenge of the Sith. That's 3. Let's see, what's number 4 and 5? What are some of my favorite? I really enjoyed because I'm thinking all kind of war flicks right now. Sci-fi. Stargate, thank you. Stargate, thank you. That's what it was too, and I can't remember, but Stargate, I want to put that down. Thank you so much. I thought that was great. I love the concept. I love the fact that it was like, like there were aliens here controlling us and we beat the aliens. Stargate. So let's see. Alien, Battlestar Galactica, Stargate, Star Wars, Revenge of the Sith, and I would end it with actually what I just watched recently on I think it was on Amazon Prime, Peripheral. I don't know if you guys have you seen that, The Peripheral? It's a really good series. It's about time travel and multi-dimensional kind of thing, and it starts off like a gaming thing. It's really good. The Peripheral. So I would say those are my top 5. Okay. I knew I was gonna ask this. Next time I'll be prepared. I'll have my top 5 ready in advance because there's a bunch of stuff on here that didn't make my list that will make the next one. So right. So yeah, that's it, y'all. Hey, thank y'all so much, man. This has been a blast. Ty, thanks for doing this, bro. I really appreciate it.
Man, I told you, anytime we get to hang out, man. I know, like I said, we used to do this on the regular when you're on the West Coast, but again, it's fun.
This has been a lot of fun, man. Like, I'm DL Saint. This is Ty Barnett. Yo, this is Man I Don't Know, which may be changing soon. We're gonna continue to look at y'all suggestions. What should we call the show? But for now,
I like the two dudes, one movie. I like that. That's dudes.
So we go. All right, there it is, right there. Done and done. There it is. New name. 2 dudes, 1 movie. And thank y'all so much for being here. I'll rock with y'all later, man. And we'll talk to y'all later. Keep sending in all of the stuff. And hey, y'all, I'm eligible to be monetized. We did it, y'all. We are over 4,000 watch hours. We are eligible to be monetized. I'm doing all the paperwork now. They say within a month we'll be having super chats and all that. Thank y'all so much for getting us there. Y'all got us over the hump. Thank you to all my day ones and everyone who's here. Man, we out of here, man. We'll talk to y'all later. Be looking for this, man. Next month, we're going to do it again. Peace.
Peace.